Welcome to WRTR Real Talk Radio. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests.
And do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organizations or institutions. This podcast is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered legal, financial, or professional advice.
While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no representations or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, or availability with respect to the podcast or the information, products, services, or related graphics contained in the podcast.
Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk. In no event will we be liable for any loss or damage, including, without limitation, indirect or consequential loss or damage, or any loss or damage whatsoever arising from loss of data or profits arising out of or in connection with the use of this podcast.
By listening to WRTR Real Talk Radio, you acknowledge that you understand this disclaimer and agree to its terms. Enjoy the show.
WRTR Real Talk Radio. Featured guest DJs, original shows, music news, the hottest DJs from around the world.
Welcome to a new week here at WRTR Real Talk Radio, one of the podcasts that has been selected by Speed Spots panelists as one of the top 100 Black podcasts on the web.
Yes, indeed.
It is quite an honor to receive that email and the badge. So y'all over at FeedSpot, we truly appreciate that.
Yes, indeed.
And thanks for joining us again. I'm Marcus Smoot.
And my name is Miss Lyric Bravado. Hey.
You ain't text me back all week. We be.
I know.
What's been going on? You all right?
I have. I just been consumed with things because I have just been trying to get my work done. I have like a couple of projects due on Sunday, and they're not like small. So papers and PowerPoints and all types of stuff for school. So I've been buckling down, and then I haven't been sleeping that well. So I've been like going to bed at like maybe 4 a.m, waking up around 11 something. So my sleep schedule is all thrown off.
Oh.
But hopefully it's a brand new week. Get it together.
It is. I've always hated that about school, though. It's like when you get breaks, spring break and winter break or whatever, they always come back and load more work on you. It's like,
right.
We needed a break because we were overwhelmed. They don't need it the first week back. You overwhelm me again. Ugh.
Oh, they did not play around. They was like, take this, and hold this while you at it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And this is a 2-course month too. So since it is a curriculum that's faster than a normal one, you get bombarded with shit.
Okay.
So it's like, oh my gosh, this is so much. But I'm hanging on in there. So
I'm glad you got the resilience. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
What about you? What's your week been like? My mood has been chaotic, to say the least.
Well, it's been so much going on this week, like a whole lot to cram in less than a 2-hour show, but we'll try. I guess I would say I'm in a decent mood. I was going to say nice things about the whites that I keep stepping up to the plate to defend democracy and check their friends and relatives. But, every single time you say kind things about white people or shit, niggas for that matter, they will turn around and double down on something extremely ridiculous. So I'm just going to say, hey, thanks. We see you. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
The rest of y'all, throw it away. What you want to be like when you grow up, mama?
This 12-year-old girl, Enolia Shakumbi. I hope that I said that right.
Oh, how you spell it? That sounds so fun.
Shakumbi, Shakunbi.
That is how you say it.
All right, awesome. Yay. All right. She out here solving real world issues. She's in 5th grade at Commodore McDowell STEM Academy in Connecticut, where she was given a class project to find a solution for future pandemics in school.
Word.
Inspired by air quality issues exposed during COVID, she built an air filter with just $60 worth of basic material, a box fan, furnace filters, duct tape, and cardboard. The results? Shocking. Her filter removed over 99% of airborne viruses.
I bet you it did, because y'all nasty. Wow.
The EPA confirmed it as safe, low cost, and a great solution.
That is
The Connecticut State Bond Commission approved an $11.5 million to bring her filters to schools across the state under UConn's Safe CT program, which focuses on improving air quality in classrooms. 12 years old.
What can you say about these kids? Man, that is incredible. Mm-hmm. And to come out with something that is just, it's going to be used. Like, these babies out here doing the apps. Wow. All right. Well, I'm not talking about children this week, but when I grow up, I want to be like Anne Collins Smith, who has ushered quite a remarkable change at the New Orleans Museum of Art, or NOMA.
Okay.
She's been appointed as the museum's first Black chief aide curator. So announced in March 2025, her role marks a significant milestone in the museum's history, where she'll lead the institution's curatorial department. She'll be overseeing collections and exhibits that blend modern and contemporary art with a focus on African American artistry. So I think this is a particularly awesome thing, considering the overwhelming attempted ignorance and erasure of Black history by the Trump administration. Seeing a piece of it resting in the hands of this incredible Black woman gives me the warm and fuzzies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With nearly 2 decades of experience, including her previous position as director of the Xavier University of Louisiana Art Gallery, and a long tenure at the Spelman College Museum of Fine Art, Smith is poised and let's see, she's supposed to advance NOMA's mission to enrich its offerings. So, according to Because of Them We Can and Essence, she's in Essence, she envisions her appointment as a chance to foster community engagement and curatorial excellence work, while her ambitious plans include reinstallation of parts of the permanent collection and retrospectives of prominent artists. So I was listening to Joanne Reed's new podcast that she does with her sister, and they were having a conversation with someone from the Smithsonian. I can't remember who the lady was, but basically what they're saying is that they're taking pieces of our history, you know, some of the more important parts, and they're talking about having, you know, people pay to store them elsewhere because it's not safe at the museums right now with what the Trump administration is doing.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's wild. But I'm not surprised though. I figured something like that was going to happen. He's wants to remove everything. You hear what they did? What I read? They removed Harriet Tubman from one of the websites.
But then they put that shit right back because everybody was like, what are y'all doing?
Just the simple fact that y'all removed it, like, is very telling to what's coming.
It's really telling to what always has been. Yeah. We keep shouting and y'all keep trying to sweep underneath the rug, except for now in 2025, nobody's playing that game anymore, which, okay, I'm fine with it because now we can get down to the nitty gritty. That's how I feel. How you feel about shit if it were lyric is up next. You ready? All right.
Praying, hoping, singing spirituals. That's what they want us to believe about all the people that were enslaved in this country. But what they didn't tell you about is that the people on the Creole had a different idea. They didn't wait for their freedom. They took it. 1841. The U.S. ship Creole is hauling 135 enslaved Black people from Virginia down to New Orleans because apparently trafficking human beings was just business as normal. But the people chained below the deck, oh, they had other plans. Led by Madison Washington, a man who had already escaped once, but got dragged back because he tried to rescue his wife. They decided that this was not going to be another quiet trip to the auction block. They rose up. They took the ship, overpowered the crew, unalived one of the enslavers trying to fight back, and told the captain exactly where they were going next. The Bahamas. Because why settle for survival when you can aim for freedom? And when they rolled up, The British official said, "Oh, you're in the Bahamas now. Slavery is illegal here, so you're free." No debates, no begging, no papers. Free. Of the 135 black men, women, and children on that ship, 128 walked into a future that America swore they would never see. And the US government, they lost it. They tried to demand their property back. The British basically said, "You mean people?" Yeah, no. Funny how fast property gets redefined when you don't control the land. The Creole Revolt ended up being the most successful slave revolt in US history. No asterisks, no fine print. Success. The Creole story is not about patience. It's not about waiting for somebody's signature on a piece of paper. It's about kicking the door off the hinges and daring the world to stop you. So the next time somebody tries to tell you that enslaved people just accepted their conditions, just smile and remember, some of us were busy steering ships straight into freedom.
Maybe not what you should do, but definitely she would if it were lyric.
Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl,
Hi.
Miss Lyric, and I am back with my segment, If It Were Lyric, where I discuss your relationships, friendships, situationships, and everything in between, and I give my 2 cents about it. If you guys want to continue sending me your stories, please send them to my Gmail at lyricbravado@gmail.com. I no longer take them in my DMs. I've still been receiving some. Please don't send them. I will not read them. Direct them to lyricbravado@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Now let's get started, shall we?
We shall.
All right. This first one is from Katie.
Hey.
Katie says, "Hey, Lyric, I need some help. I've been with my partner for 2 years.
Yep, you should need some help. No, I'm playing.
An incident happened that's been weighing heavily on me. I accidentally tripped and dropped our massage gun on him while he was half asleep. Earlier that night, we had an argument about where the baby would sleep, and tensions were already high. When the massage gun fell on him, he accused me of throwing it intentionally. Out of frustration, I said, 'Yeah, I wish I really had thrown it at you,' and repeated it twice. He asked me to repeat what I said, but I remained silent. After asking me again without getting a response, he seemed to lose control, got up, and to my shock, hit me. Later, he said he heard me say I wished he would die, which I never said. I made it clear to him that wasn't what I said, and he was visibly shocked by his own actions and has since apologized. I know that his reason is not an excuse, but I am torn because part of me wants to leave him, but I'm also thinking because we have a child, is it bad for me to reconsider?
What
What should I do? Should I leave or should I stay? Girl, if you don't run for the hills. Anybody who's that comfortable putting their hands on you is going to do it again. He does not know how to communicate. He has no conflict resolution. Obviously, if the first thing he thought to do was put his hands on you, no.
You would think.
Not okay. That is not okay. Run for the hills, take your baby, and learn how to co-parent, because this right here is going to be the beginning of a toxic physical, emotional relationship, and you do not want to put yourself on that pathway.
Certainly
do not
don't.
do a red flag. It has presented itself to you. Definitely take your baby and break up with him and co-parent, because now
It's a shame that mothers have to make these types of decisions and still get the vitriol from the rest of us about just being women. It's just looking at this situation. She's faced with, oh, well, maybe I should stay because my baby needs a father. First off, I'm going to need you to think, why would your baby need someone who is clearly abusive around them? Like Lyric said, take that baby and get that baby as far away from this nigga as you can, because, oh my God, that abuse shit, that hit, I don't like it. I hate it.
Used to say once the baby gets a little older and he falls or does something and he goes and tries to hit the fucking baby, like, no, then you're gonna have to, like, yeah.
And then your baby got all this trauma they got to unpack. See, that's why, again, mothers get a reputation, because then they have to take their babies out of these horrible situations. That's why people have more respect for their mothers than they do their fathers, in my humble opinion.
Well, that's it. That is what I have to say. Definitely plans to find other alternatives in places that you feel safe in, because this is no longer a safe space for you or your baby, and he made it that way. So if he has anything to say about it, he only has himself to blame, because he had no business putting his filthy fucking hands on you. Period.
Call the cops. Okay. This one, a little bit more lighthearted. It says, "Sup, Lyric. I've been listening to some of the older episodes, and some of your letters can be a bit heavy, so I'm going to keep mine a little lighthearted."
That's not my fault.
That was like right on time. I do actually need advice, because I've heard this from at least 3 other bitches, and want to know what your take is on it. After my husband passed about 3 years ago, I had stopped dealing with men on a dating level altogether. But through therapy and a solid circle of friends, I was able to get back into the mix recently. But during girl talk with my squad, something came up. One of my friends started talking about how I need to make sure the man I'm dealing with isn't on the down low. And I've never had to deal with these types of worries before. They each had some pretty extreme stories to share with me about men they've previously dealt with, and one of them went as far as to tell me that it's easy to tell if a man is on the down low. This is where it gets funny to me, but they were dead ass serious. They said a good way to test a man is to give him head and slowly work your way down between his legs. They said keep getting closer to his ass, and if he toots it out or acts like he wants you to lick his ass, that's a good sign he may be on the down low.
Oh my God.
I wasn't born yesterday. I wasn't born yesterday, so I know that some men like it and some men don't, but they insisted that this is the best way to tell. I'm going to let them listen to your response the next time we kick it, so we can all have a good laugh. But you all are Real Talk Radio, so I know you will keep it real. If it were you, would you take this as a red flag, or are there other ways to tell? You both bring me joy, so please keep up the good work. With love, Lick It Linda.
Lick It Linda is wild. Okay. It's wild. Diabolical even. For your girlfriends even suggest that. First of all, people have their own fetishes and things that they like in the bedroom. Just because somebody likes to get their butthole licked does not mean that they are a DL individual. The easiest way to know is to just ask. They might lie, because some people are embarrassed, or some people don't want to, want to be judged for the way that they feel. And I would just ask. There's no real. First of all, if you're a real freak, and it sounds like you are, because you signed your name Lick It Linda.
Word.
Right. There are pornos, right?
Uh-oh.
Where some men even like to be pegged, but by women. That doesn't mean that they're gay. It just means that that's something that they're interested in and they like.
It's not wrong. You know what's gay? When you do it with another man. You know what's gay? When you love another man. You know what's gay? When I lick another man's ass. That's gay.
Some of y'all really gotta understand, like, just because some of you do a sexual act does not mean that you are like considered you're labeled a certain way. Like, grow up. Like, it is 2025. Honestly, that has been. I blame Trick Daddy. For real, because he the one who popped this shit off during the pandemic quarantine, getting on live talking about something. I like to get my ass ate.
Was it him or was it Tank? Because
Trick Daddy said it first.
But then 50 Cent too, because Vivica was in them cheeks. Damn, everybody out here licking ass. So yeah, Lick It Linda work.
He made it like a thing where more and more celebrities were saying, yeah, I'd like to get my ass eat. Like, it was a whole ordeal. It was hilarious because he was making like content videos and stuff talking about it. And he even, if you go on YouTube, he has like a cooking show where he invites other celebrities on there, and he sometimes talks about it depending on who comes. So it's pretty funny. But no, girl, that's not a way to tell. The easiest way to tell is just ask. Like, have adult conversation and be like, oh, have you ever had experiences with the same sex, this, that, and the third? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, being open and honest. I'm not now, that don't mean you're gonna get the truth.
Sure don't.
Let's be real here. Regardless if you get the truth or not, everybody needs to protect themselves, right? Stop freely giving up your body and having these exchanges with any and everybody, because you don't know what people's sexual history is until they tell you. So protect yourself, have fun, stop thinking too hard about it, and tell your girlfriends, no, that is not an easy way to tell.
Linda, lay that man down on the bed, pull him to the edge, throw them legs up, and go to town, mama.
If that's what you want to do.
Make sure he washed, though, because some of y'all be getting surprises. If your friend circle is doing that shit, I wonder how many of them got a face full of butt. Never mind.
Toilet paper doo-doo balls.
You know it. Dingleberry surprise.
Ew. That's all I got to say about that. Y'all done grossed me out for enough. I'll see and talk to y'all next week. Bye.
All right, let's troll this timeline. Oh, it's been an incredible 2 weeks.
For all my people who've been following the Sanders stories, listen to me. You didn't just watch a draft. You witnessed a lesson in how control disguises itself as evaluation. And follow me. Because in America, talent isn't threatening. Independent minds are. Because they love black excellence as long as they can coach it, as long as they can contain it, and as long as they can cash out on it. They celebrate the gifted, but fear the ones who know they're gifted without needing validation. That's the difference. Because y'all remember when Archie Manning set terms for his sons? They actually called that strategic parenting, right? But when Deion Sanders does the same thing for his sons, it's called overbearing. Matter of fact, when Peyton Manning showed swagger, it was leadership material. But when Shedeur Sanders shows composure and confidence, it's cockiness, right? See, the rules never changed. Only the faces did. But here's the part they don't want to say out loud. Because America loves black success as long as it looks like survival, not strength. As long as it stays humble, not heavy. As long as it asks for a seat, not build its own table. Because they're not afraid of your talent. They're afraid of your awareness. Remember this. They love black talent when it sings. They love it when it dances. They love it when it entertains quietly. But let it think, let it build, or walk in unapologetic confidence. And suddenly, it's labeled cocky, difficult, or a risk. Because the real threat or the real risk isn't what you can do, it's what you know. You see, they didn't even I was thinking about this. They didn't pass on Shedeur Sanders because he wasn't good enough, but they passed on him because he wasn't dependent enough. See, he came into their room already crowned, and they didn't know how to handle a king who didn't ask for their permission. So let's be clear. They'll always draft submission faster than sovereignty. They always promote what they can manage and blacklist what they can't control. See, survival stories make them feel charitable. Dynasty stories make them feel irrelevant. And that's the issue. But here's the wisdom, because something I learned from all this, right? See, when you stop auditioning for broken systems, you start threatening them. When you walk like you're already chosen, you irritate every room that thought you needed their approval. So let them pass. Let them label. Let them lie. Shedeur doesn't need their draft board. He's already on board. And sooner or later, they'll have to play on his field, not the other way around. I'm telling y'all what I know. See, you can't blacklist the chosen. That's just truth. That's facts. You can only delay your own access to it. So the moral of the story, when doors close on kings, dynasties are born in fields they forgot to fence off.
Time to troll.
All right, niggas, we black, and it's time to get in this timeline. Miss Lyric, you are up first.
Yeah, so let's talk about what's going on with Trump and these tariffs. Walmart, Target, and Home Depot warned Trump that tariffs could lead to empty shelves. All these retailers have previously cautioned that tariffs could result in higher prices. After Trump's election, Walmart CFO John David Rainey acknowledged that there would be a likelihood of price increases due to tariffs. More recently, Target CEO Brian Cornell highlighted that tariffs on Mexican imports would likely drive up prices, particularly for produce during the winter months.
You know what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Target CEO, he needs his whole entire face slapped, because did he do this before or after he met with Al Sharpton and was like, ooh, please send the niggas back? Like, come on, man. Every response that you've had as of late has been responsive. How about we be proactive about things? Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
The Trump administration has implemented 145% tariffs on Chinese goods and 10% tariffs on most other countries. President Trump added the final tariff rates would come down substantially from 145, saying it won't be that high. Why is this our fucking president, y'all? He don't talk like a politician. He don't present himself as a politician. He has no business being in the highest fucking office of the United States. Like,
our VP wrote a book called Hillbilly Elegy.
Oh my gosh.
What are we doing?
This is wild. This is wild.
West. Wild West.
I haven't been in Target since they pulled that DEI shit, so
yep.
I don't care about y'all shelves.
But it's not going to, unfortunately, it's not going to just be Target and Walmart and the people that acted against us. It's going to be all of us. The Trump tariffs are stupid. We've been saying that they're stupid. Before he even got elected, we said they were stupid. Speaking of the Trump administration, it has been 2 weeks full of nonsense, but I narrowed my personal list down to these two things that I want to talk about politically, but I'll start with Pete Hegseth.
Okay.
Headline: Hegseth shared detailed military plans in second Signal chat that included his wife and brother. According to CNN, in a recent incident, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who niggas have been calling whiskey leaks, which, sidebar, is fucking hilarious. Remember that dead ass looking gerbil on South Park called WikiLeaks back in the day that was like telling everybody business? So they've been calling this whiskey leaks. So whiskey leaks shared sensitive military plans concerning an operation against the Houthis in Yemen through a second Signal group chat. This chat included not only military advisors, but also his wife, brother, and lawyer, which raised significant security concerns. Again, this is not the first time. He did this again. So this highlights the ongoing issues with the Defense Department regarding information security. Critics, former military officials, they all have expressed outrage over Hegseth's casual personal, setting, like emphasizing like the potential risks that it poses to national security. And while Hegseth remains in his position, still, for now, the incident has sparked discussions about the protocols surrounding the sharing of sensitive military information. Listen, it's not just keep our secrets on the down low. You're sending American soldiers into situations where enemies may already know that they're coming. So you're putting their lives in danger. The people that put their lives on the line, you're personally putting in danger, not because of some like legit kind of security risk. You're doing this because you want to sit there and parade around with your brother and wife. Like, ooh, look, guys, isn't this cool? This is the administration that we have running this country right now. Come on.
Do we care about your little young Scrappy or whatever his name is? No, not
really. We don't even know his name. No. Who?
Oh my gosh.
No,
okay,
good.
Let's see. Oh, let's talk about this. Did you know that there is a spray called a peel that Bill Gates backed that is sprayed on produce that's about to go bad. It's being able to continuously be sold in grocery stores all across the United
States. Is it a
States.
Spray that masks the smell of rotting fruit?
No, I don't know. It's like a coating that keeps it looking fresh.
Oh, so okay.
Right. So, however, you cannot wash this stuff off. You can't wash the coating off. It doesn't really come off. The chemicals are hazardous to humans. They damage internal organs. And this has been approved by the FDA to be used.
The 2025 FDA, let's be clear.
And they're saying that this damages internal organs and causes cancer.
Wow.
And this is
more from this administration. But real talk, they've been putting fucked up shit and chemicals in our foods for years at this point. I mean, it's always been. There are countries that do not put like the shit that we have in our food that we just be chewing and shit.
Yeah,
they be like, nah, that shit can't even come over here.
Right.
So I get it.
To me, it's a form of population control, and that is a real thing. And I don't understand why people don't get that. That is a real thing. You got to be careful.
Oh, you do. Headline: ABC News. Secretary Noem's bag was snatched from a DC restaurant with $3,000 in cash inside. So, again, according to ABC News, the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, had her bag stolen, like her purse, while dining in a restaurant in DC. The theft occurred when a masked man approached her table and snatched the bag, which apparently contained $3,000 in cash, her passport, a DHS access card, and other personal items. A DHS official noted that Noem was carrying the cash to treat her family who were visiting for Easter celebration, including her children and grandchildren. But get this, she had Secret Service people with her there. So if your administration is supposed to be protecting this country and me, I can fully say I have zero confidence in your ability to do so if y'all can't even protect the people you assigned to protect. Are you supposed to be looking dead at them? Are you supposed to be watching this bitch and somebody with not only stole her purse, but stole her purse with a mask on? This nigga just strolled over with a mask and was like, take that, thank you, this is nice. I mean, what? And again, this is the Secret Service. Come on. What are we, this administration? All them appointees, y'all voted for this. And here we sit.
It's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Worse and worse. Every time you turn around. You got something else, or we gonna talk about Shannon Sharp? Because I got something to say.
How China is coming, making all these TikToks.
Yes, educating us on how to buy their shit straight from there.
Can I just say I'm here for it? I am here for China letting the cat out the fucking bag. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am so glad that they said, you putting some tariffs on us? Okay, let me let y'all know, you Americans know you have been bamboozled, led astray.
Just so you know, we're not paying.
Comes from us. Those Birkin bags, bitch, that you buy for $56,000 and that you get doodled on in Dubai. Yeah, they come from us.
Secrets out
for pennies on the dollar. When I tell you, chef's kiss, all the videos I've seen, yeah.
So all them knockoff jokes. This is a knockoff.
And this is the thing. These are things that I have always tried to educate people on. I always tell them, I said, this is what I have a problem with in the Black community. We spend so much of our resources on designer things from people who don't even want us in their products.
They don't.
They don't want us buying it. They don't want us wearing it, but we still continue to do so.
Mhm.
I try to tell people, you're buying a name. All of that stuff that you think is luxurious and high quality and thing, it might be high quality, but you're paying for the name. That's it. You're paying for the label. Bitch, I could buy the same joint, and I'm going to too, by the way. China, all them China videos, yeah, I definitely saved them because I'm gonna be ordering a couple of things.
Word.
Got my own freaking name on there. Guess what? Still worth this. It still has the same quality as y'all who let y'all self get shitted on in Dubai. I got this bag, and all I had to do was order it from China. I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
It's so delicious.
Pettiness.
It is wonderful. It's given me so much joy. And it's not only that, but it's the fact that so much of this is starting to be less easy to hide. Mm-hmm. And, you know, for the longest time, they've hid behind Fox News and the Fox brand. And now even Fox is finding, like, they're looking to twist news stories like they do, and they can't twist certain shit. So now they're even starting to report things for what they are. Like, they're starting to report polls that we previously had side-eyeable results, but now things are starting to reflect a lot more consistently across the board. So
as soon as I get enough, I'm gonna be on AliExpress, I'm gonna be on Temu, I'm gonna be on all them little sites. You hear me? Buy me a Louis for almost free.
Because it's all coming from the same place.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting a brand name on things, but again, y'all are paying, and I've said this shit.
Y'all getting robbed. Y'all getting robbed
this shit for years. Y'all label queens. Y'all. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Not harder. Like,
All right.
About designers. If it's not a black designer, miss me with that bullshit. Because 9 times out of 10, like Tommy Hilfiger said all them years ago, I don't design for blacks.
You know what?
Forget that.
Yep. All right, girl. Let's talk about Shannon Sharp.
Let's.
All right. TMZ Sports. Shannon Sharp. I offered millions to keep intimate details private. TMZ. Shannon Sharp had BDSM about 100 times with rape accusers. Sources say. Okay. Y'all's Uncle Shannon Sharp. See, when I be saying these niggas are bums, y'all be forever quickly sliding down the bat poles to put on capes to defend them. And I'm glad they keep doubling down on who they really are and proving y'all wrong. So I pulled this story from BBC because, you know, the irony. And I'm petty. I mean, if I'm going to get an article and it's this kind of shit, I'm pulling it from BBC. All right. And I'm going to read it to y'all verbatim so we can unpack it. All right. So, because I want to be clear. According to BBC, Shannon Sharp, a Super Bowl champion and host of a popular podcast, has been accused of sexual assault in a Nevada lawsuit. The lawsuit was brought by a woman who alleges Mr. Sharp used his fame to, quote, manipulate, control, subjugate, and violate women, end quote. The accuser, who was 19 at the time she met Sharp in 2023, says in a legal filing that the pair had a nearly 2-year relationship, during which time Mr. Sharp was aggressive and allegedly raped her. Mr. Sharp has denied the allegations and said he is a target of a, quote, shakedown, which is most of y'all, never mind. The suit seeks more than $50 million in compensatory and punitive damages. The accuser is the only person suing, and she does not provide details on her accusation that Mr. Sharp hurt more than herself. According to the suit, the woman met Mr. Sharp, currently aged 56, in a Los Angeles gym and had a, quote, rocky consensual relationship. Quote, after many months of manipulating and controlling the plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharp refused to accept the answer no and raped plaintiff, despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no, end quote, the complaint alleges. The woman alleges that Mr. Sharp raped her as recently as January. In addition, she alleges in the suit that Mr. Sharp insisted on recording some of the sexual encounters, sometimes without her consent or knowledge, shared the videos with his friends and associates. Mr. Sharp has 4 million subscribers to his Club Shay Shay podcast and is reportedly in negotiations on a $1 million deal for his network of shows. Quote, "This is a shakedown," he said in a video posted into Instagram late Tuesday addressing the lawsuit. Quote, "I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right," end quote. Mr. Sharp then accused the woman's lawyer, Tony Busby, of filing a fraudulent lawsuit and threatened to sue her for defamation. Mr. Busby represented a plaintiff, the same plaintiff who accused rapper Jay-Z of misconduct and ultimately rescinded her allegation. He also worked with several female massage therapists who accused NFL star Deshaun Watson of sexual assault. Quote, "I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine," Sharp said. "That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself," end quote. Last year, Mr. Sharp live streamed audio of an intimate encounter with his millions of followers on Instagram and later apologized, saying he had mistakenly turned on the app's live feature. Mr. Sharp played in the NFL for 14 years and won 3 Super Bowls. He went on to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame and has had a long sports broadcasting career. That is the article.
Oh,
yeah, I wanted to give the article before I give my opinion, but where are you with it, Miss Lyra?
child, it's so much other things coming out about this man and the weird shit he was into, like race play.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
I don't know what to say about this man. Like, oh my gosh, you asked for this. You're a 57-year-old man. And having relations with someone who is not even old enough to drink.
All right.
You had no business.
You didn't. She's in her 20s and was 19 when they first started doing this. Ew, you big black bitch. I get it. Legal. And that seems to be the threshold for a lot of y'all predator ass niggas out here preying on young people. Like, there's no reason a 50-plus-year-old man with Shannon Sharp's access and influence should be doing bumping uglies with somebody 30 years younger than him.
19 years old.
I don't care what y'all say, legal or not. That shit is and has always been creepy, in my opinion.
You old enough to be that girl's grandfather, and you
are
like, get the fuck out of my face, you nasty ass nigga. For one, for two.
Yes.
Race play? So that means you was letting her call you nigga, and you was calling her master, and you was getting off on that type of shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, yo?
You gonna sneak out of slave master's den and come on,
letting her whip you and shit. Like, oh, yeah, I just, you know what? Some people have to be humbled. Because if the scandal of that leaked footage, sex tape thingy wasn't enough, that you need to chill the fuck out and stop, you know what I'm saying? Using your dick and being a grown up for once. Maybe this situation will make you realize that there's more to life than chasing ass 24 fucking 7.
But you know what? Niggas keep doing that shit and being all, I am the real victim when they get caught up just like this. And however this developing story pans out, I'll stand on that.
Monique warned you. She warned you years ago. She called
interview.
called it. She called it exactly to the T. When people are in your life or around you that give you solid, valid advice and you don't listen, that's on you. Your career is done. Fuck that podcast, which was starting to take off. Like, what the fuck? It was starting to do well.
Mixed opinion.
Cancel that shit. Your legacy gone.
Oh yeah. ESPN said,
we're not fucking with you.
No, we're not doing whatever this is. Leave us out.
And you had a chance because even after the sex scandal thing, you still was able to keep your job.
Yeah. Even after you hit live on that, when you was fucking that girl Michelle and niggas had shirts and merch and shit. Like,
that was a warning. That was your warning. That was your warning. You said, fuck all that. I want the 19-year-old. I mean, karma. I'm sorry. It be hitting.
Okay, so when I heard the lawyer was Tony Busby, I was like, oh yeah, that's the same grimy ass lawyer that tried to come for Jay-Z.
Yep.
And I immediately backed down. I was like, but then the audio dropped where we could hear old girl talking about how she didn't want to be manipulated. And then Shannon gets mad at her and he's like, I'm gonna choke you the next time I see you. And then that white woman was like, hair tuck. I don't want to be choked. And he's all, it's not gonna be your choice.
I mean, even that still could have been a setup because I mean, if you read the if you've seen the text message threads that came out, you could really tell like all of that shit was not put in the entirety. It literally reads as if some things were deleted.
No, I get. So I read in another headline. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But my thing is like, if it's a setup, you basically ask for it. You reap what you sow. The universe and God tried to warn you so many times. Like he gave you an out. Like I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to stop this from happening because this was gonna happen, and you have another path. And you said, "Man, I ain't listening to none of that." Where the 19-year-old master at? Like, get out of here, man. Y'all tripping out here.
Your slave master's daughter's pussy at. That's what you said.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And you probably had a whole narrative, like you was gonna break in and probably told her to scream a little bit. Oh no. Probably told her to call you Toby or some wild shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Toby!
You are wild. Diabolical. And I'm sorry, like, you got to suffer the consequences.
Work, Toby. But you know what? I did read, on TMZ that he had BDSM about 100 times with this woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weirdo.
I guess I'm going to close this out by pointing out that A, this story is still developing, and B, that it could have been all avoided if, like the lyric said, you just did what Monique told your big goofy ass to do in the first place when she came on your podcast. Stop messing with these teeny boppers and get you a grown woman. And you know what? I don't even fuck with Monique like that because she is a horrible mother and she showed the rest of us that she was. But broken clock twice a day. There you go. Anything else we care about this week? Pop culture, really?
I just
wasn't even pop culture
a little bit because he's on the scale for me. You know what type of scale I'm talking about.
Top block.
Yeah.
Put him right over there with Tim, Scott, them other Coons, Stephen A. He in good company with Stephen A. They can chop both of them niggas.
Yep.
Unseasoned behavior up next.
The Trump administration just announced that the black folks in Alabama will no longer be receiving an improvement on their wastewater treatment because them receiving that is a illegal DEI and environmental justice policy. For the people in the back, pointing out that black folks were the 7th, 8th beneficiary of DEI does not account for how our proximity to that criminalizes the way that black people get improvement on their wastewater. Even when we have statistics and studies that show that this community is harmed by raw sewage, they say, hey, you receiving an improvement on that? That's considered an illegal DEI thing. That's environmental justice policy, and you supposed to have dirty water. Do I have legitimate criticisms of DEI and how it's always trying to account for the failures of integration? Yes, but I can also be critical about how the criminalization of pathology around DEI is leading to Black people getting less access, less resources, less opportunities to receive things like clean water. Showing y'all the blueprint is saying anything that Black folks is getting is some type of illegal DEI policy. We're going to terminate it and cut it right there. You see where we're going with this?
Marcus has your glimpse into a world without seasoning.
If you listen to this show back when we were on Uncensored Network or any of our older platforms back in the day, you already know, how I personally feel about germs. Now, I won't say that I'm a germaphobe exactly, but Lyric, you could speak to when we used to carry, we used to have Lysol cans for the mics and everything from Trump's first term. You remember that shit?
It's hand sanitizer, by spray, by gel, and all of that, and still do. Because that's nasty.
And again, I'm not going to say that I'm a germaphobe, but Trump's last term and the way he mishandled COVID certainly has made me 10 times worse. Like, it's truthfully one of the reasons I don't go out as often as I did anymore. That being said, as of last week, there have been 800 measles cases in the U.S. this year, higher than any point since 2019, where there were 1,274 cases, being the highest number of cases since 1994. If things keep going the way that they're going, we're going to end up with the highest number of measles cases in 30 years. And a few doctors, physicians, whatever you want to call them, are as committed to helping the United States beat that record as Dr. Ben Edwards. Have you heard about him? He was recently praised by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as, quote, an extraordinary healer for the bang-up job he's doing. He's loading measles-infected Texas children. He's loading them up with cod liver oil and medications designed for afflictions other than measles. This is according to an article posted by Robert Panessio on Substack. So this should be a reminder to all of us of the consequences of neglecting public health measures. This is not your mama and auntie them. This is the entire country. And with that, we have to talk about the importance of vaccinations. The fact that the resurgence of measles, a disease that was once, it was nearly gone. Like, it was eradicated in most parts of the world. So he's been going around, Robert F. Kennedy, he said himself, and I don't know if you've heard the interviews there, he said like, oh, well, the best way to get it is to get it and let your body develop the immunities against it, which is so problematic on so many levels. But the danger of this ideology, encouraging treatments that lack scientific backing during an active measles outbreak. They don't just mislead people. They don't just mislead one or two people. These are desperate parents, but also they're people that hang on to your every word. You have power, and you're using this as just some kind of like science experiment. You're going against all of this knowledge and math and words and shit just to push your own personal agenda. And when you bring up population control, it's y'all come up with your own conclusions.
I would just say this: do your research, because as far as COVID is concerned, I am not vaccinated, never have been, never will be. It did not sit right with me. That's my own personal decision. But I find it real funny how all of these issues are starting to pop up with not only the COVID vaccination, but also the testing kits. I'm not very trusting with certain things, especially how quickly they were like forcing people to do so. I don't like the fact that y'all were offering people cheeseburgers to get vaccinated and all of this other wild shit. It didn't sit right with me, so I didn't do it. Months down the line, you see healthy children dropping dead on athletic fields from heart attacks. No previous conditions, health conditions. because that was one of the things that people were trying to say. Oh, they must have had a previous no, healthy children dropping dead. No, nobody better not ask me to do shit. You know how I got through COVID?
How?
I drank something called soursop tea. It is a Caribbean plant that has cancer-fighting properties. I drank that for 3 days straight and tested negative on the third day.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with the remedies. There's nothing wrong with your Meemaw's remedies and stuff. There's nothing wrong. Yeah. But here's the thing. You can't use your influence and power to then turn around and enact your personal belief and set of beliefs onto the rest of everybody else. That doesn't make sense.
That's true.
If you don't believe in vaccines, then bitch, remove yourself from the equation and leave the rest of us alone, because you're going in forcefully trying to make people adhere to, again, your belief systems, and you're going to cost people their lives with your little science experiment. Get these delusional, unhinged people out of these government offices and into asylums for some and jail for the rest.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
And that's another thing too. A lot of these people don't do research. They just see something. Somebody can make a video on YouTube and put some shit together and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna take this." No. You mixed the wrong herbs. You're dead, nigga. You're fucking dead. Your organs are shutting down. This I know for a fact. You got to be very careful of people's influences, like you said, and suggestions on home remedies, because people
cod liver oil. What?
What the fuck they talking about?
Cod liver oil is what? So what about
cod liver oil? Is you know what cod liver oil is?
Fish oil. That's what it is.
Oil. It boosts your immune system. Yes. But it also
so
makes you shit. People give it to their kids when they're constipated. Go ahead.
I mean, you and your shitty ass baby's gonna be right over there.
Still got bumps and lumps all over your motherfucking body.
Yikes.
Bumps and lumps.
All right, so that's it. That's all. I guess Wi-Fi's up next.
Yeah, absolutely.
So y'all are just now realizing that straight women are homophobic? I get it, because men are typically the most violent and vitriolic with their homophobia, and we also live in a patriarchy that gives them the right to govern society. So even systemically, if there's one group that is the most harmful to queer people, it has been cishet men. I'll give y'all that. But none of that negates the fact that as a collective, cishet women are just as homophobic and transphobic as the men they fuck, date, and marry. And one other thing that sets them apart from their boyfriends is that typically, at least, homophobic men aren't going to fake the funk. Even DL men typically won't do anything that could be perceived as gay or feminine, including befriending gay people. By the way, this is why I laugh when y'all call men DL for doing things that you perceive as feminine, because most DL niggas are actually hyper masculine as a defense mechanism, and you sassy apocalypse girlies are their main targets because your devotion to rigid gender roles gives them a cover. But I digress. Typically with homophobic men, you're not going to be surprised when they reveal their true nature because they lead with it. Whereas a lot of homophobic women will befriend queer people, namely gay men. They'll talk about how funny and lively y'all are. They'll go to drag shows. They'll use ballroom language. Oftentimes, you won't even know they're homophobic. Sometimes they don't even know they're homophobic until A, a gay man does something that pisses them off. B, they speak about religion. C, their son does something that they perceive as feminine or gay. Or D, they're confronted with a person or concept that is really, really queer in a way that goes beyond simply being gay, such as gay men that wear makeup and wigs. This is how we arrived at who's going to be the boy from girlies that y'all thought knew better. You expect that homophobia from Miss Ernestine in the church, but it stings a little more when it comes from Jasmine, who follows Santana on social media but would beat the shit out of her son if he was gay. Same thing Carisha said, clock it.
Why do you have roaches?
The why file.
Why do my children hate me?
On WRTR Real Talk Radio.
Why did my vagina burn?
The truth is out there.
Explaining the unexplained, we're answering why to the questions you want to know by taking your skeets over on Blue Sky at WRTR Radio. And we also take your emails over at WRTRradio@gmail.com. This is the Y Files. Remember, the truth is out there. You're up, Miss Lyric.
My why comes from me. And I want to know, why do people have so many freaking opinions when you post, like, say you... I say this because I just saw a video. Somebody posted a cute video, 2-second video. Well, I'm exaggerating, like 30-second video of their kid doing something funny.
Okay.
The comment section is always chaotic. Why do people feel like they have to give their unsolicited fucking advice and concerns about a 30-second fucking video about everything, like dissecting the whole thing? Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have did that. Oh, that poor kid, this, that, and the third. You don't know these people. Y'all done made stories about people being abused because a father came in and told their kid to go to bed.
Y'all do get
oh my
extreme.
gosh, he's being abused. I just watched a video like that yesterday. The mom was like, you need to go to bed. It's time for you to go to bed. She's going back and forth. And the dad came in there, snapped his fingers and said, come on now, let's go. That's all he did. You know, the comments was talking about CPS and I took psychology and that's a fear response and somebody did something to that boy. I'm just like, are y'all for real?
Yeah, they are, because unfortunately they are for real.
Everybody in the comments, go outside and touch grass, because this can't, like, for real. It gets on my nerves. Why? Because the truth is out there, I guess.
It is, and y'all do get extreme with some of the comments, and keyboard gangsters get carried away on a regular basis. But I will say, though, if you put something out on the internet and you set that shit to public instead of to private, or instead of your select group of friends, people are going to have opinions. Opinions are like assholes.
And that's even cruddier, because you could set it to private. Somebody could always screen record your whole video, post that shit in a group somewhere else, and that shit go viral, and you like, what the fuck? Like, you can't even, like, share, like, happy moments with your family like normal.
Oh my God, Lyric, this is the perfect segue into what I was about to talk about. So this why comes from Anonymous in Maryland. So I was debating about how I wanted to approach this story, right? Because it's not really a main headline in, the news, but it involves an old associate of mine that I met through one of my besties back when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
I want to say RIP to my associate, Stephanie Brookman. I've literally known her since she was a kid, and since we were kids, 16-ish, I won't sugarcoat it. That girl had it rough from jump. And a large part of that reason was her family. And I could spend another 10 minutes dragging them for the shit that I know to be true.
Wow.
But I won't. I will instead answer the question Anonymous wrote in asking, why do people post intimate details of the cause of someone's death on social media? I was always taught that these things are usually taboo, uncalled for, useless, and ultimately tasteless. And Anonymous, I couldn't agree with you more. A screenshot was sent to me, and I'm going to just read it to you. I've spent my whole life trying to protect all of my kids, but one thing I could not protect her from was drugs, and now it has taken her life, and I do not know where to go or what to do. I just hope and pray that the Lord Jesus has her in her arms now. Rest in peace, Stephanie Brookman. I love you so much, my firstborn daughter. Shortly after, another post was made with a picture of Stephanie's son that says, "This is what she left behind." A bunch of emojis. Sweet, his name. There's a very fine line between grieving and doing shit for clout and social media attention. Stephanie lost her battle with addiction. That is factual. Why we, everybody else, needed to know that it was because of drugs is beyond me. And I get this notifying friends and family of someone's passing but the details of someone's passing, in my opinion, should be reserved or omitted in some instances. I'd be lying if, knowing the backstory of all of this, of, you know, how horrible these people were to and around her, I would be like lying if I said that that didn't play a part in some of my vitriol for this. But I wanted to definitely mention it because I see it often, and it's not just from her family. People often use somebody's death to, I don't know, like elevate their own public perception after they lose somebody. But that's why you need a therapist and not a keyboard. To those of you that listen to this show from the old crew that knew her, my heart goes out if you're grieving. And her struggles weren't a secret if you knew her. But this was just some garbage, and it did not sit well with me. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you wrote in anonymous. I'm glad you did, and take your time getting through it because the truth is out there. And that wraps it up for this week's Y-Files. You know the socials. Well, I wish I could say that we were going to bring up the beat, but News is Making Nauseous is up next, and you don't know where that could go. So,
right.
We'll see.
Never refriend or refamily a person who tried to destroy your character, your life, who you are, your money, your finances, your family, or your relationships. Stop refriending and refamilying these people. I get it. You got a big heart, right? You love giving second chances, but stop giving second chances to the devil. Stop re-entering and giving people another opportunity to hurt you, to break you, to throw you down to the wolves, right? To hurt you, to betray you. Stop giving people second chances. Right? A lot of people, they haven't learned for the first time, and especially if they try to destroy your character and who you are and the relationships you have with yourself, having you healing from these things. All right? Stop refriending and refamilying these people who are out here just to destroy your life, your character, and the relationship you have with yourself.
And now,
Say what?
News to make you nauseous on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Let's go.
Hey, these are some of the stories you might not read about in the New York Times, the Washington Post, or the Wall Street Journal. It's news to make you nauseous. I guess I will go first since you took the Wildfires first. All right. Yep. Say what? San Carlos Park, Florida.
Say what?
Oh, it's Florida again, Miss Leary.
Oh, Lord.
A 20-year-old woman has been arrested on charges related to, wait for it, bestiality.
I'm hanging up.
According to the Lee County Sheriff's Office, the woman allegedly engaged in sexual acts with at least one of her two dogs and recorded these acts on video. The investigation was spearheaded by the agency's Animal Cruelty Task Force and the Special Victims Unit, which uncovered the horrific abuse occurring within her residence. Following her arrest, the woman was taken to the Lee County Jail, where she faces charges not only for sexual activities involving animals, but also for producing pornographic images or videos featuring animals. That's right, kids. She videoed it. Because no redneck-ass shindig would be complete without home movies of fucking the family dog. Anyways, both of her dogs, a cur and a dachshund, have been removed. Or dachshund. How do you pronounce that word? I always get that one confused. Anyways, both of them bitches have been removed from her custody and are currently being cared for by Lee County Domestic Animal Services. The sheriff's legal team has initiated a petition to secure custody of the dogs until they can be placed into a rescue organization. Blah, blah, blah. You nasty bitch. What the fuck is happening? Florida, again. White people, again. I don't know for certain, but I'd be willing to bet money on who she voted for this past November, because this kind of mentality is what we see going.
Oh my gosh.
What?
So mine is also about animals.
Oh, okay.
But in this particular occurrence, the animals received justice.
Okay.
All right. Say what, Las Vegas?
Say what?
A Las Vegas veterinarian who went missing in early April shortly after a video after him brutally kicking a horse in the face surfaced online, was found dead in a lake Friday.
Oh, from what? Did the horse find him and beat his ass?
No.
What happened? Because you know that's what happened with that cow. You remember that's what happened with that bull and that woman. Was it a cow or a bull? But that woman had fucked with it, and then she died, and then the bull came and like turned over her casket. You remember that shit? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on.
So I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining like BoJack Horseman rolling up in a Hellcat and like fighting somebody.
It's just interesting. Okay, so Dr. Sean Freshner, age 56, was recovered from Lake Mead, a reservoir spanning from Nevada to Arizona. Authorities combed the reservoir after finding his truck and multiple personal belongings near the water's edge last week.
Okay.
He originally disappeared on April 6th after he was captured physically abusing a horse he was supposed to be trading. He later apologized on Facebook after the video went viral and defended his actions before vanishing. I did not blatantly haul off and kick this horse as it appears in the video. That was not my intention at all.
It was just hijinks. The fuck?
It was done simply to get the horse in a better position so that he could breathe and get up and move so I can again try anesthesia. But yes, I did kick him right in the chin, and I very much do apologize and wish this never happened. Freshner was set to face felony charges for animal abuse at the time of his disappearance. So, I think that he probably committed suicide, y'all. And out of shame and avoidance. But you could have just paid your fine and just on the internet. Like, what the fuck? So the horse wins in the end.
No, I'm telling you, that horse met up with him that night, right? Because nobody was suspect it was the horse, right? So that horse was like, all right, bet. Got you. Waited till his ass was there. All of a sudden he
nudged him into the
dead of night. All you hear is crickets, and like from the west, you hear galloping. Yep.
Oh my God!
You hear galloping.
I just pictured it. I cannot.
An ominous wind rolls through. All of a sudden, you have hoofs around your neck. And it's all downhill from there.
What makes this even worse is because I just watched that Death of the Unicorn movie.
Oh my God.
I can actually picture it because this shit is crazy.
If you want these and more nauseating news stories, make sure you follow us over on Blue Sky at WRTR Radio. I'm also over there at MARCUSSMOOT. That is Marcus Smoot.
I am not skeeting, so y'all can find me on my regular Instagram, TikTok, Facebook about to be. I don't know, because I'm getting tired of y'all hoes over there. So
Chop block. I'm glad you got there, friend.
Yeah.
All right, what we talking about on Real Talk? It's your week to choose.
So what we talking about is public humiliation as a punishment. Do we feel as though it is just, or do we feel as though it is played out? That's what we'll be talking about.
Ask that man that got murdered by the horse.
In the United States, black entertainers, athletes, and celebrities often walk a tightrope. They are rewarded when they align themselves with white-dominated cultural norms and punished when they challenge them. This pattern is not new. It's been part of the entertainment and sports industries for decades. Take Sidney Poitier. In the 1960s, he was celebrated as the first black actor to win an Oscar, but he was also expected to be a safe figure for white audiences. Even at the height of the civil rights movement, he was careful about how he engaged in activism, knowing that stepping too far out of line could cost him roles. Meanwhile, Muhammad Ali who refused to fight in Vietnam and spoke openly about racism, was stripped of his heavyweight title and vilified in the media. In the 1990s, Michael Jordan became the face of basketball corporate America. But part of his success was tied to his political neutrality, famously summed up in his alleged remark, "Republicans buy sneakers too." Contrast that with Colin Kaepernick, who knelt during the national anthem to protest police brutality. His career ended overnight, not because he couldn't play, but because he refused to conform. We see this pattern in entertainment too. Will Smith was Hollywood's golden boy for decades, known for his clean-cut image and box office appeal. But the moment he stepped outside of expectations, reacting emotionally in a space that demanded he remain composed, his career took a major hit. Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle walked away from a multi-million-dollar deal with Comedy Central because he saw how his comedy was being consumed by white audiences, and they called him crazy. They called him difficult. This isn't just about individual choices. It's about a system that rewards black visibility only when it remains non-threatening. Step outside of those boundaries, and the backlash is swift. So the question isn't just who is allowed to succeed, but on what terms. Until black celebrities can exist in their full humanity without being punished, America's celebration of diversity remains conditional at best.
Keeping it 100. It's Real Talk. On WRTR, Real Talk Radio. We keep it real.
It is time for Real Talk. And what prompted me for this week is I watched a video last night of this lady going into the mall with her young baby and her husband.
Okay.
But her husband was wearing a cardboard box sign. And at first I was like, oh, maybe she's trying to get, something for one of them homeless people or something with the signs,
They do that shit, and that irritates me too.
I
mean, if you don't help the homeless, just help them. Quit exploiting them.
But he wasn't just holding a sign, he was wearing it. The sign read, "I am a cheater. I was in an affair for 2 years."
Awful.
While she's pushing the baby carriage, she proceeds to start yelling in the mall, bringing attention to themselves, talking about, "This is my husband. Everybody look. He had an affair. While he told me he wanted a second child, I had his second child while I was pregnant. He was having a 2-year affair on me the whole time. And I found out about it. Everybody look at this man. He's a cheater. Everybody look at the cheater." And I'm just like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Was this over? Oh, this was on Caucasian TikTok.
Yeah, sometimes I get some of those.
Oh, no, wait. This is Facebook, you said. Okay.
So, no, the actual video that I watched last night was on TikTok.
Oh,
but
okay.
I found one on Facebook just to give you an example.
Oh.
And that one recently happened too. I'm like, I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know that this was a thing. That people do.
Yeah.
Still, like you hear people do stuff like that, but I'm like, I've never seen it. So,
okay.
Why are people doing this instead of doing healthy work? If
there you go.
Have been in a situation like this within your relationship or your marriage, if you choose to stay, this is not healthy.
I don't understand why the rest of us need to know about your relationship.
And you know what I'm saying? For the husband to agree to it, that's not going to make her feel better.
Well, I'm looking at the video, and it almost seems like one of those kind of staged kind of situations. However, I will make the point that in all of these situations, again, I do see more and more videos with people taking things to the rest of us instead of working them out with the person that they have the issue with.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bigger issue here, because these, humiliation videos as a form of punishment. Doesn't seem healthy. Like,
It's very much not healthy. Just like the ones where
it's a little counterproductive.
yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like you're gonna get where you need to be here. Like, what? What is the point?
Like the ones with the parents too. Y'all are not exempt from this dragging either. I don't
Wait,
like.
what do you mean, the parents? What's happening with the parents?
The parents do public humiliation videos too, and I don't like that shit either. I feel the way about it. Like one I saw a while back.
Okay.
This mom, I saw two like this. This mom cut her daughter's braids off because she was bullying another little girl.
They still doing it? You know, there was that video years ago like that.
And then a dad took his son to the barbershop and cut all of his hair off because he was bullying a kid with cancer in his class, making his bald head. I get that you all want to instill these lessons in your kids, but putting this on social media, on a platform where this can stay forever,
once you put it out there,
it's so much more damaging than you teaching them this lesson of humility and giving people grace and being kind to people.
And people do that shit all the time.
I don't understand why y'all think that this is going to be something that's going to solve a problem. As far as I'm concerned, all this does is add resentment, possibly hatred, and might turn your little kiddo into a little psychopath. You might want to sleep with one eye open because, like,
for some,
like,
but the majority,
you got to be really careful in the ways that you do things. This is not one of them. Communication is always major key. Therapy works. Utilize it. It's there for a reason. A lot of people think that it's bullshit. It is not. It is not. You need somebody that you can talk to get you to make decisions, even to help with your decision making and how you process certain things, to give you different ideas of how to stress relieve when you're in like certain situations, like marriage with infidelity or relationship with infidelity, or how to deal with your child who's doing this. Take them to therapy.
Yeah, that is not
show that you could have showed them like a movie with people with who are dealing with cancer, or take them to like an old folks home or something, like something for them to see for themselves. Like, this is not a joking matter. Like, there's so many things that you could have done.
Yeah, I think in
place of this,
a lot of things that I see with people that, raise children, it's like for this, you would think that, okay, yeah, making fun of someone with cancer is wrong in so many ways. We know that as adults, but to convey that to a child, I get the more extreme the circumstance, you kind of want to create an extreme consequence that kind of mirrors the impact that you think that your child is making. But here's the thing. If it is an extreme offense, then it takes extreme diligence to work them through why this is wrong. You have to show people without humiliating them. Yeah. Now you're oh my God, there's so many things wrong with just the way that people think. And, I've heard so many parents over the years say things like, well, I mean, my daddy cut this, that, and the third in my head, and I turned out just fine. Let me stop you right there. You're not just fine, because you're an outward dumbass to the rest of us. But when you put somebody, like Lyric said earlier, when you put something on the internet, it stays forever. So that brief humiliation you felt back in the 60s, 70s, whatever, 80s, 90s, that was exclusive to that particular social circle and really only the niggas that know about it is now amplified to an audience to where, like, again, she said earlier, people have comments aplenty. You got some people defending. You got some people shooting you down. You got some people coming in with the jokey jokes. It's so much when you are teaching someone a lesson. And it's one of the reasons that I don't believe in Iyanla's particularly, unique brand of therapy. It's because you're not teaching the lesson. You're doing things for sensationalism. You're doing things to, exploit somebody. Stop this. Everything is not everybody's business. Everything ain't meant to be shared with the rest of us.
I agree.
Certain things, just have the conversations. Y'all want these extreme measures, people tattooing niggas on their face and stuff. Like, relax. What are y'all doing?
I've said that word at least 7 times in this show. Y'all gotta relax.
Calm down.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like y'all go to the extreme, and I don't know if it's really your child that you're trying to teach this lesson to, or you're trying to get popular on the internet to show people that, oh, look what a great parent I am. Look what I'm doing. When in reality, it makes you look
horrible.
Crazy. It makes you look crazy, and
we hate you quite a lot.
I don't rock with parents who do that and people who do that. Like, settle your differences in private. Everything does not need to be publicized.
It's not for us.
It's not for us. Keep us out the group chat.
We don't need to be there.
Like, for real.
You can make moves in life and nobody has to know. Everything you do does not have to be documented.
Oh, man.
So I guess that wraps up this week here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Unless you got something else, Miss Lyric.
Nope, that's it. I said what I said.
Good.
I miss tickling.
I know, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to go out and see him. You coming?
Yes, and happy birthday!
Yes, happy birthday, Ticket Man.
Yes, indeed.
Probably don't even listen no more, old bum. All right, so before we get out of here, you got any band performances or anything coming up that you want to announce?
No, we don't have anything coming up until the summertime. So
I know that's right. Miss Lyric says she got her entire curriculum to do, and she will holler at y'all later.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, once again, y'all, thanks for rolling with us here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Thanks for spreading the word. FeedSpot, thank you again for featuring us in the list of top 100 Black podcasts on the internet. It is more than you know honoring. So,
indeed.
I'm Marcus Smoot.
And I'm Miss Lake Bravado, and we'll see y'all next week.
Next week, maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
Bye.
WRTR Real Talk Radio.
This week's show featured work from TikTok creators Ashley the Baroness, Fred Joe Jones, The Conscious Lee, Chris the Author, Haiti Goppel, and Olu Walnuri, using our platform to amplify your voices.